As the use of artificial intelligence continues to grow, the European Union just reached an agreement to regulate AI. This comes almost 2 months after President Joe Biden issued an executive order to strengthen protections for Americans. Dr. Olaf Groth joins us now. He's a professor at UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Greetings, Liz. Good to see you as well, and your viewers, of course.
So what does this all mean for the future of AI and regulating AI here in the U.S.?
Well, look, I think the regulatory web around the world is tightening. The EU AI Act has passed. It now needs to get refined on the procedural side, but it's clearly another element of the Brussels effect, as it's been called, which is that the EU is setting regulatory trends for a number of other countries around the world that are important. Of course, at the same time, the US president has issued an executive order foreshadowing where regulation might go in the future in the United States. Of course, it's a much different picture here on the federal level, but the states have been very active on regulation. Out of 200 bills last year, 13 passed. California is a trendsetter with the new enhancements to the California Consumer Privacy Act, as well as the new California Privacy agency that got put in place. So what this means for businesses is that they need to pay much more attention to compliance. That means additional cost, yes. And this is where I think for small businesses, venture capitalists and banks need to also step up and help out. But if done well, this could enhance trust on the part of the consumer or also the enterprise buyer, and that could mean additional revenue. So it's not all bad. In fact, more trust is a good thing.
Right. All right, let's talk about Sam Altman. He's back as CEO at OpenAI after being ousted, then brought back. So what does that mean for artificial intelligence as a whole, specifically the Bay Area tech sector? What does that ousting mean for the entire industry?
Yeah, look, it's been called the Burning Man phenomenon in tech and Silicon Valley, right? There's been many precedents: Steve Jobs, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and others who've been fired by their founder peers. But this is a bit different in that this is actually the battle between the tech optimists and the tech, as they've sometimes been called, doomsday or doomsayers. Those people who I think rightly are pointing out some of the risk of artificial intelligence. And the people that are on the tech optimist side have won out for the moment. And that means that we are going to see more gutsy development on OpenAI's part, such as artificial general intelligence. Luckily, they have not just put in place a super alignment team that drives that general intelligence development, but also a preparedness team. And that means that they're going to pay attention to second and third order negative effects in society, right? Knock on wood. So we'll be seeing in short order, I think, more revolutionary development out of OpenAI and, of course, the Microsofts and Googles of this world as they leverage OpenAI's technology or compete with it respectively.
Yeah, well, interesting to see how that competition is going to grow. Finally, let's talk about Apple. They announced it's putting a pause on sales of its newest Apple Watches right in the thick of the holiday shopping season. That's always a popular gift. What's going on there?
Yeah, the U.S. International Trade Commission has ruled that Apple is infringing on a patent by a company called Masimo, which is a medical technology company, because Apple has a blood oxygen sensor in its smartwatches that helps us ascertain how well we're oxygenized, as it were. And so the ITC has said you may no longer import that and sell that locally. Now, luckily, and by the way, this goes just for Apple Watch Series 9 and the Ultra 2. Luckily for Apple, this is not going to impact year-end sales, holiday sales, because the Biden administration has until Christmas Day to veto this decision, but it might still impact 2024 sales. And that is coming at or against the background of lagging sales for fiscal year 2023 at the end of September that were the first slowdown for Apple in 4 or 5 years. So it is a meaningful development. Now, that said, it's only 4.7% of Apple revenue, clearly not the biggest profit center for the company, but it is a dent. And it is also coming in the middle of other legislation and regulation in Europe, as well as the United States and in China, where employees have been asked not to bring in or use Apple products. So there are a number of big government challenges to big tech, including Apple now, that will need to be taken seriously as these companies move forward.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Olaf Groth with UC Berkeley. Thank you so much and happy holidays.
Always a pleasure. Same to you and your listeners and viewers.
All right. See you soon.